Well, good evening and welcome, friends, to the Casual Boost Tournament. I'm Adirondack Rick, being joined by the always awesome Windblown Leaf as we deal with this Group L tiebreaker. Leaf?
Rick, we've got two very good runners here.
Yes, we do.
Jaejo is an excellent all-around runner, and secretly a sliver, or Sean as people call him, is a very strong NMG-focused runner. So it's a very... I believe this is going to be a very good race. I believe we're getting off right here.
All right, here we go. Uncle walks away. Let's see what we're going to get. Hopefully soon. There we go. We get the other going. Hey, we get ourselves some bombs. That's good for Kakariko Village.
It is. We'll get our runners synced up here in just a minute.
Just long enough for us to go through the escape portion. Obviously, it's the escape. We know how this works. So this is a tiebreaker match, I have been told.
It is. Let me see if I can grab that bracket real fast.
As we get 5 rupees off the uncle that's going to be leading a long life. Unfortunately, the answer turned out to be not the case. A little bit of magic and a little more magic thanks to the blue potion.
Yeah, this is a tiebreaker for the bracket. To make it into the bracket, we have both of these runners are 3-3 in the Group L.
So is this a case where the winner is in, the loser, they're done with the tournament?
I believe so, Rick. Which is fortunate. These are both very strong runners. But first place in this group has been locked down by Skipfrosh, formerly known as Kermit.
So you're telling me that one of these two fantastic runners is not going to make it beyond tonight?
At least for this Casual Boost tournament. But trust me, these runners are prevalent in the community, so we'll see more of them in the future.
Well, I mean, we're not going to say goodbye. It's not like we're going to be handing them off to the council there to be banished from the Survivor Island.
I miss what was in the first chest here in Hyrule Castle, by the way.
Nothing important.
Okay. I was looking to see if it was a map, really. It is nice to get a little of the small money coming out of the castle, just because we'll be able to buy that bottle merchant on our first CAC, should we go there first. Also, yeah, we should be the NMG practice giving just a little bit of a lead to Sean, but you know, escape times aren't everything in this mode.
No, for certain, but obviously consistency is a big thing when it comes to a portion of this game that you do countless times. As we get the small key inside of Zelda's cell.
Jaejo having to double back for that pot was on one heart for ball and chain. Oh, I see something we found. We found a blue potion somewhere.
Yeah, it was in the chest next to the uncle.
Ah, I missed that while I was opening up the bracket.
Yeah, uncle gave us a nickel, and then we got some blue potion there next to the guards. All right, both runners making their way through this. Again, there's not much for me and Leaf to say because this is 5 or so minutes of stuff that, I mean, you've seen, if you've been watching plenty of this tournament, you know how this goes. If you've raced this mode, you know exactly how this goes. Where's your key, where's your map, and then everything else is items.
I really do enjoy commentating this mode, because, in a tournament setting, though, because the opener of... Oh, well, you don't usually see these rooms going through Hyrule Castle, actually. Jaejo gave you a little bit of surprise by going right.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see a problem here. It's just, you know, funny to see a different direction.
You're not used to the runners going the right direction as opposed to the left direction.
Yeah, as I was saying, I like calling casual boosts and standard modes in terms because it gives us time to go over kind of the what's at stake and what has been done.
Yeah, we can do the table setter here during the first 5 minutes of this mode because flippers.
Those are flippers.
We've just found the flipper, so that's what the reason why we can do the table setting here. It doesn't have anything to do with the fact that this is just a 5-minute jaunt through escape, and both runners doing the same exact thing.
Good thing we have those flippers. It looks like the back is full of water. Wouldn't want our feet to get wet.
Well, I mean, yeah, but it doesn't make you move faster through that water. Magic powder, bombs, and moon pearl.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think that leaves the map in Sanctuary.
I believe so, but we'll get confirmation whether or not Sliver runs by the chest or opens it. Either way, we'll get confirmation.
That looks like our confirmation.
What's our confirmation?
Sliver checked his inventory.
Yeah, there we go. Kudos on Sliver for doing that. All right, so Bonk Rocks, which is a good skill to remember that you have boots for this.
You've also left it sitting here in the past?
I have. Leaf, there's a reason why I don't go into this tournament, and I let the runners who know what they're doing go into this tournament.
Tier 2 tree pole is full magic. That's good to know about.
It certainly is. Also, here comes the Lumberjack check, and it's just 20 rupees. Because I'm sure that's the only reason why we have to do Aga, right?
It wouldn't possibly be a Aga seed, right?
Hey, there's a glove. All right, give us the hammer, and then we don't have to worry about Aga whatsoever. But it's just fun to see some of the mechanics here by Sliver, who has opened up a few seconds of a lead here. That's also a very good tree pull to know you're tier 1.
That is a very good tier 1 tree pull. Was that 20 rupees I saw?
Yeah, that's 20 rupees a piece. This will not be a money issue seed.
Yeah, that's okay. Having a big 20s on the tree pull makes it very nice. We're getting both 5-item caves at once.
We are. We get a sword upgrade.
And a mushroom.
And a heart container.
And some arrows. And a mirror.
And a heart container.
Honestly, I like both of these results. They high five on the way past, I think. They just had to let the other through the door first, I think. That bomb missed?
Weird things do happen once in a while with this video game. Map check.
Red crystal on Eastern Palace. Pendant on Hera.
And a regular old crystal over at Desert Palace. Both runners converging at the chicken coop.
That bomb miss actually gave just enough time for Jaejo to be slightly ahead of Sean here.
Also, shout outs to the Cadence of Hyrule MSU pack, which is what we're hearing from Jaejo. Sick hit is nothing. I just love this. We're doing things in the opposite order here.
I have been enjoying that throughout this Kakariko. It's really funny.
All the convergences. All right, what do we got inside the library?
Looks like bookshelves, and also somebody put money on the top shelf.
And both runners are going to go ahead and grab that, with Zora being a possibility, especially with the flippers being there, also the glove.
Zora is looking a little bit strong today. I like the synchronized bonk.
I do too. What's on this race game?
The fire rod.
Survey says no. Well, it's still a nice item to have. Here's the bow.
So, do you like Eastern Palace?
I like it better when you can actually beat the dungeon, which is something that these two runners can do.
I would not be surprised to see a run to Eastern Palace from both of these runners.
Also looked like Sliver had a little bit of a faster leave of the house compared to Jaejo, who went off the ledge and then over to the right.
You and I are both taking notes on how to move faster now, aren't we?
Yes, we are. This is knowledge we could use in multiple tournaments, including the ones that we are currently in.
Not checking the green pendant today. Oh,
I don't think Jaejo meant to.
That was a very wide talk box, by the way.
It is! Like, I'm absolutely surprised that after the bonk there was a talk to Saha. But now we know that Skull Woods is our green pendant. Thank you, game.
So that just leaves one pendant remaining. Wonder what it's going to be. What dungeon in the Dark World would you like to see be a pendant right now?
I would like to see TR be the pendant. So there we don't have to go into the questions of whether or not we need the fire rod. However, knowing this game is going to be Swamp Palace.
I was going to say Swamp Palace. I actually wouldn't be surprised to see it pick a more useful dungeon to be a pendant, because it's already picked Skull Woods and Tower of Hera, both easy dungeons to clear. I'm expecting Thieves third pendant.
That's also a very good possibility, but I'm just expecting Swamp at this point in time because, well, you know, certain things that you can do with the A button very, very fast.
I actually don't know if I know that Jaejo can't hover. I'm not so sure on Sliver. Or I should say Jaejo doesn't hover. I don't know if he can or not, but he chooses not.
Wearing out your controller buttons is hard work. Also costly.
Early big E, so. And Sliver's just going straight for the big key item.
As we disappear to the darkness, and Jaejo's going to go ahead and see what we have in here. Hammer! There's a Dark World access.
Dark World access is nice. We could go all the way to Pod just directly from here.
Well, we could. Do you really want to?
That depends. Is it a crystal?
No, because I already told you what the other pendant's going to be.
I mean, we've said 3 different dungeons that the other pendant could be, and there are still 3 others that could be. But you know what's
going to be? You know what's going to end up happening, Leaf, is that we're going to go ahead and mention 5 of the 6, and it's going to be the 6th one, just because. And there's Sliver getting that, and spin speed to head up to the door. And this room right here, being in the dark, just find out where that Igor is through the leftover arrows. get into a little bit of trouble. We did get upstairs. Good. Jaejo's turn now. Gotta be careful just the same, because that other Igor gets activated at the same time and does one hard. Just be careful, Sliver.
I'd like to point out, use potion for safety. I always never be afraid to use your available resources.
Yes, don't take a death, because in a race like this, it can be very costly. And if you had missed on that Igor there, that would have been a death if you didn't. All right, Armos. Textbook for Sliver.
I mean,
nice boost.
Yeah, that green rupee with a 20 next to it, that is the item that has replaced the Pegasus boots, so people can laugh when it shows up places. Although I do prefer the latter version where it's just the actual boots item shows up.
And it looks like Sliver is not going to head over to the pod just yet.
I mean, there's some good density available, and Hype Cave is a really fast 5 items.
Is that the play that you would make?
I mean, I told you, I would go directly to pod if it's some crystal. But
it is Turtle Rock.
And a vanilla 6 on Misery Mire. So that tells us we don't need an Ice Rod.
We don't need Ice Rod. We may not need Fire Rod. If we don't need Fire Rod, then we're going to need the Bombos for Ice Palace.
Actually, I do love seeing Skullwoods and TR both be.
There's our hook shot.
Hook shot. Flippers. Huh. Where do you think we're going next?
Thieves Town.
It's when the Swamp Palace is 1 right there and 2 full clearable. It's really hard to say no to a 6-item dungeon.
Try me.
No, let's just try. Okay, I like this from Jaejo. I actually really like this from Jaejo. He's doing Mini Mulrum Cave before the Floodgate and Swamp Palace.
Flute!
That's a flute. Sliver will probably pick that up now, actually. I was going to say, might pick that up after Swamp.
Book found here in Mini Moldworm Cave. All right, here we go into Swamp Palace. And yes, I know this is the play that you make with the items that you have. This is a beatable dungeon. You would be a fool not to try to complete a dungeon that you have to beat in order to get into GT.
Sliver does pay attention to the fact that he has no bombs and does pick up one from Pot.
Yeah, he'll probably pick up the other one in this room here. Yeah, he's going to pick up this other one here for the upcoming Specky.
Yeah, needs that bomb to do Specky Clip.
Yeah, the only thing that's going to be unfortunate now for Sliver is that he's not going to have any bombs for the other Diver Downs. Unless he gets some from the enemies.
You're right, actually. But Specky still saves more time than that.
Oh, yeah, for certain.
Actually, it's more important that it saves the key.
Yeah, for certain. And yeah, I'm not going to be surprised that Sliver chooses to go back at this point. And does realize that 0 bombs, so I have to do this the traditional way.
Well, I mean, it's not that difficult for him to do. Again, Sliver's, I believe, at 126 NMG. So, just play the muscle memory for a minute.
That's so hard to do when you go from randomizer to this.
It's really impressive people who can do that.
All right, Jaejo is grab the key here. Obviously, less of a concern when you're able to spec clip, so you can skip this key. There's our big key. Okay, that's in a disgusting spot.
Well,
which is going to pay out for Sliver.
I say that actually hurts Jaejo here to have that big key.
Yes. And that's the reason why I point that out. It's because Jaejo is going to have less incentive to go back into the dungeon after finishing this, especially if we don't see all 6 items.
If the big key won't hurt if the big chest has a dungeon item.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Jaejo will know before having to go back in.
Oh, yeah. By the way, we've seen Compass, haven't we?
We might have.
Oh, Sword and Swamp!
Ooh,
oh, nice triple! Okay, 2 items on left side Swamp.
So if this is the map, then there's an item in big chest. Or compass. I don't remember which one we found, actually.
Yeah, I want to say we've seen the compass in the flooded room.
This MSU was fantastic.
There's the map. What's that?
This MSU is fantastic.
Yes, it is. One of the first ones I actually downloaded when starting to use MSUs myself. All right, Sliver's back in. We're gonna see what's in this big chest. Jaejo also realizing 0 bombs, so I have to do this the traditional way. And also good on Sliver to pick up the bombs, because Sliver's probably going to do MMC next.
So we'll absolutely want a bomb to be able to clear the dungeon. Or open the door.
Yeah.
Or clearing the dungeon.
And it's just a little bit of love.
Sliver did not pick up the key from the speccy key. So it has to do this the intended way.
So Jaejo, if he chooses to skip this big chest, will not be penalized outside of not being able to have the maximum 20 hearts, but then again...
I can't think of the last time I've seen a runner gets 20 hearts outside of Retro. Because, like, I've seen 20 hearts in Retro's races, but that's not what we're running.
Yeah, and in Veterans, you're able to get to take any's because the pool of hearts is a lot more than 20, but you can have a maximum of 20.
Jaejo does get to have a simpler fight with Argus.
Yeah, but I definitely love the triple puff pull there from Sliver.
You don't see the triple very often.
All right, crystal number 2 for both of our runners now in the possession, as Sliver's about to pick up the sword in just a moment. So yes, memers, there's always a sword in Swamp Palace.
And Jaejo is going back in for that big chest.
Which is going to give Sliver the advantage leaving this dungeon. Although once again, Sliver does need to go get the MMC.
To say,
or not, we're gonna...
He is going Dark World.
Well, I think we have a flute, so we have the ability to flute back there at some point.
So wants to activate that flute, which makes sense.
Mm-hmm. We find money, which we're going to say no to. There's the heart container for Jaejo. Jaejo's got to go pick up. There's the cane of Samaria.
You know,
Jaejo picks up the.
That would have been nice and swamp.
Yeah, that would have been, but why would we have done that? Oh, that's right. Jaejo has the book.
So we're
out of Mini Boulderm Cave.
What's on Bombo's tablet? This is now actually kind of isolated for Sliver.
Yes, it is. All right, this item for Jaejo is not important.
And we're going to take the book directly to Crystal Death. No, we're not even going to Crystal Death. We're going to just check it again. We don't have a fire source, so that makes sense. You always forget about the fire source for a moment.
Yeah, the fire source is something that you're like, okay, I can beat Desert Palace. Oh, right.
We're getting our magic bat check from Sliver.
And then you realize that once after you sit there at the torches and having a complete dumb look on your face, and then you mutter to yourself that you are an idiot, and chat berates you.
I feel like this is coming out of personal experience.
Do you think this may have happened to me once or twice or 16 times?
And activating our flute. Where would you go in this situation, Rick?
The therapy.
Okay, where would you go if you were in these runners' positions, Rick?
But this isn't about me. This isn't about my battles with this game. This is about these two runners. The winner moves on in the tournament. The loser, by what we've mentioned here in the tiebreaker, is done with this tournament. This is a tough one. I think we definitely go to Thieves Town. It's a dungeon we can do.
It is. It does leave us a question of when do you want to pick up the front of Skull Woods at any point in this siege?
I think you play Skull Woods only if it's it is my opponent not doing this. Maybe I can get an advantage out of this type of move. I might have to steal that move. Not the one that Sliver just had with the getting bonked around by the thief, but...
I was gonna say the left side dash from Jaejo?
Yeah. Nice 50-50 there for a Sliver, getting that bomb back as we go into the Crystal Thieves Town. Is this where you would go, Leaf, or are you still in the Palace of Darkness at this point?
I mean, let's be honest, I would have done Palace of Darkness and we don't know what's there yet, so. But in these runner situations, Thieves is the play that makes the most sense.
Liver needs to be a little careful. Down to 2.5 hearts. Just got butchered by one of the Zazaks.
I mean, these Zazaks do 2 hearts of damage.
Mm-hmm.
They hurt. Also, I counted 3 dungeon items in the front of the Thieves Town.
3 dungeon items, yep. What was the one item that we didn't get?
I feel like it was... We did not see a map.
Okay. Map on blind.
You know, that hurts a lot less when you have a hammer.
Yeah. It definitely does hurt a little bit less when you have the tools to actually full clear this dungeon. I don't think I've seen either of these runners be above 3 in the bomb count at all in this seed.
You noticing the absolute lack of bombs today?
There's our map.
I take it Sliver, well, as I briefly glanced over at Jaejo, uses powder to get Nate's Fairy.
Yep. And then missed on the bomb there, so good knowledge, of course, knowing that you do have 2 guaranteed bombs in that room.
I think developers didn't want you to run out of bombs, because that chest in vanilla is 3 bombs as well.
Yes, it is. The game programmers wanted to make sure you knew that that's what you needed to do to beat this level. I got bombs. I got more bombs. Gee, what am I supposed to do with those bombs?
Thieves are not paying us out with anything at the moment.
Oh, don't worry, the payout's on blind. I'm going to call it right here. It's going to be an item that our tracker, Dylan Lee, is going to have to light up. I'm not going to say which one, though.
Are we looking at French Vanilla Titan Smiths here?
No, it's not going to be that easy.
Oh, so the progression's going to be the lamp, send them to pot.
No. Leaf, it's going to be the bug catching net.
Oh, okay.
No, it's just 10 arrows. Crystal number 3 for Jaejo. Number 3 coming up here for secretlyasliver. Be sure to give these runners a follow, Jaejo and secretlyasliver. Also, big thank you to Windblown Leaf for asking me if I wanted to spend my Monday evening together with them.
And you know what actually looks really strong right now with that flute and everything we have?
Death Mountain.
Death Mountain looks really good right now.
And Jaejo's going to go into Skull Woods, so this could be the potential for a divergence. Yep, this is definitely a position for divergence, as Sliver's not going in here at all.
Sliver
here comes the MMC for Sliver.
Okay, that makes sense to want to go with these super early checks.
Also, Jaejo does not have that Cane of Samaria from Stumpy yet. So it has to do this the long way. Nice vanilla big key.
Vanilla big key. Classic.
And here is the trip over towards desert.
And we're doing a fireless desert dive here with Sean. Let's see what we find.
Surely there's a reason why we got this book, right? Or we just decided against it.
Might have realized it doesn't have fire to clear the dungeon, and it's instead going for the dungeon that can be cleared.
Our container, item number 1 inside of Skull Woods, so not paying out just yet for Jaejo. And nothing. The other item is Fire Rod blocked here in Skull Woods. right, do you believe in Pod, Leaf?
I told you, I would have gone into Pod immediately out of Easter.
What's here?
What's here?
Yes. You think we're gonna get the Titans mitts? All right. So far, we get a key. Graveyard ledge here for Jaejo. Nothing there. We get ourselves a map.
So one non-key in the front of Pod. We can have at most one more here. King's Tomb for Jaejo.
And nothing there either.
Hey, Rick. Jaejo has 10 bombs. I think that's the highest bomb count we've seen all seed.
I didn't think that was legal.
Sliver has 10 bombs if you look at a mirror.
Okay. I see it. But under those same rules, Sliver also has 62 arrows.
Which is impressive.
Yeah. How did you spend that much money at the capitalism ferry? Mushroom check. Nothing.
And we're going out to Catfish with Jaejo.
And probably make this into a waterfall and Zora check.
Probably like another, say, 36 rupees before doing that.
Don't worry. We can just get the 100 here.
I actually think the 100 was vanilla in Eastern Palace.
That could have been.
And that boomerang is also vanilla, by the way.
That's stunning.
Yes, that's what the boomerang does.
Alright. We got ourselves a medallion on the Zora ledge. It's the first medallion we've seen all seed.
Was it the medallion that we need, do you think?
No.
Good darkroom navigation from Sliver. Try and get up to that chest into the top corner.
And nothing there, so we're going to continue on.
Unfortunately, went to the back, and the big key is vanilla.
Oh, yeah. That's unfortunate luck. All right, mountain time.
And also, unfortunately, Sliver knows that it's a vanilla, or it's an item, because it has the map and compass.
You're in Sliver's shoes. Do you go to Helmasar first, or do you go to this first? Obviously, we're seeing what the answer to that is here, but...
That was a quick hammer jump.
Yeah, it was. A nice use of the sword to only make yourself go backwards 1 pixel, knowing that you only had that tiny little piece of the bomb showing. Chat speculating about Jaejo's go mode. At this point, we are 3 items.
The mitts?
Then we need the mitts. We need either the fire rod or bombos. And Jaejo needs the cane of Samaria, which is on Stumpy. And that's minimum because we don't know what we have for Meyer for the medallion.
Chat's right, Rick. If Jaejo gets bombos, that's still not... doesn't fix all of Gomo because he needs a fire source.
Just no logic yet.
Even no
actually, don't do it.
Speaking as a no logic player, even if no logic needs a fire source to kill Ganon.
And there you go. There's nothing here in this area. We're gonna leave.
Yep.
Appa heart, and that's all she wrote.
Interesting. Is taking advantage of that full health refill and still having a full magic bar. Jaejo's going to Spike Cave before the
Yeah, I actually like this decision here, given the circumstance.
Given we just got that full health refill, I kind of think this is an interesting play. Not bad.
450 rupees.
But it takes care of the when do I go back for Spike Cave problem by doing it before the density draws you away from it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very conservative approach to handling it.
There we go. Slivers through this fight with the Helmassar. Helmassar is going to drop. Let's see. It turns out to be nothing inside of this Palace of Darkness.
So, nothing in Pod, nothing in Thieves' Town.
Nothing in Skull, nothing in Hera.
We got nothing in Swamp, too, other than a sword.
Alright, I know where the fire rod is.
Wait, okay, where's the fire rod, Rick?
On a torch.
You think it's on Desert Torch?
Mitts.
There's our progression. The single arrow.
All right, this seed is now making sense.
Loot. Go. No. Get your mitts. Full clear the mountain. There's an armor upgrade on a floating island.
So Jaejo's been doing a lot of overworld, but Sliver's going to be doing some of that right now as we speak.
Conversely, Sliver has the crystal lead, but hasn't really been given anything for it.
But there's one big thing that Sliver has that Jaejo wishes he had.
Would that be the red cane?
That would be the red cane.
At least the question of will the mitts lead Jaejo to the red cane by going through Smith Chain, for example?
That's a good possibility. Sliver's going to go into Hera, see that it's filled with nothing. There's our lamp.
There's the lamp. Okay, so we have a fire source. Jaejo leaves Spiral Cave.
It's nothing.
And Jaejo takes that fire source and is going directly for the Mire area. Can full clear one dungeon. Check the Mire medallion.
And that medallion for Mire is Ether, it looks like.
Ooh, that's not good for Jaejo. Because Jaejo doesn't have anything to take him to get the cane at the moment.
Ice Rod! Not what we needed.
Not what we were looking for. We did get the Moldorm kill out of Sliver. Just a map on Desert Torch.
That was a fire rod. I know it was shaped differently, Leaf, but it was a fire rod.
Okay. Is Jaejo just leaving it there so that he can pick it up later?
He's letting the item collect more flames on it so it could be a better fire rod later.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, here's our spiral cave check.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Rick, what are your thoughts on this cave?
It exists.
Just a heart container. Okay, so there's a guaranteed item on land. We'll be getting it.
Combos.
Combos. Correct me if I'm wrong. Does this put us in Cane of Samaria Go mode for Jaejo?
Yes. If only we knew where that can of Samaria was.
Yeah. We might have to go lean up against the tree and think about it for a bit.
Yeah, for certain. Alright, here we go. Lammo fight.
With the Ice Rod. The developer intended the strategy. Because Saha tells you about the Ice Rod before you fight Landma. And as we're seeing from Jaejo, it's not an easy strategy.
Yeah, it's the timing of the rod is a whole lot different. Like, I never thought as a kid that Ice Rod was how you're supposed to take care of those Lamos. I just thought, okay, he's trying to tell you about the Ice Rod. You might want to pick it up, but it's not. Why would you want to use that on the Lamos?
Going back into the Mire area, going to go check our checkerboard cave.
Yeah, noting about me and talking about the particular rod that I was talking about. That map that's still sitting there on the torch. Some games, that's how you're supposed to create fire.
Jaejo giving us our Ice Palace trip. So it's worth noting, where was that Ether Medallion?
Zora Ledge.
That Ether Medallion is on Zora's Ledge. What takes Sliver to Zora Ledge?
Unhappiness. But what's gonna wind up happening here for Sliver is that he's gonna get the Bombos in Desert, and that will give him reason to maybe do ice. Or definitely do ice.
I mean, he's had a pretty good track record of going for his crystals, so.
Also, Jaejo, unfortunately, coming in here without the Cane of Samaria.
I mean, I always say, make sure you know your Ice Palace bomb jump. Because you're not guaranteed to have the cane going to Ice Palace. Is it still a fire, Roderick?
Yes, it's still collecting fire.
Okay.
At some point in time, that thing's going to ignite.
And it'll burn the desert down with it.
Yes, it will. Sliver needs a key. Jaejo pulls off the Ice Palace bomb jump.
I still love hooking that block to fall in the hole immediately after.
Is it therapeutic?
Everything wants to get in the way of that hook shot. Did you notice?
Yes, it is. The developers said, let's put extra enemies in here to make it so you can't hook.
Let's make those enemies split into more enemies when you hit them. So, Rick, you know that common fact that people say they learned from Rando, such as they learned that Helmosaur was mask could be broken with a hammer because they didn't realize as kids?
Yeah.
You know those the fact that... Would you like to know my fact I learned because I played Rando?
Which one is that?
That you can kill the red berries with a strong fire like a Fire Rod or Bombos without them splitting. I did not know that until I started playing Rando.
Yeah, I'm definitely in the camp of the people who wind up learning with the Helmosaur mask.
Ooh, we're getting...
And the bomb.
Oh, Landmo.
NMG Lamo.
We got a 1 cycle on one of the Lamos. There's cycle 2.
Can we get 3? Oh, yeah.
Beautiful.
Well, we're going to have a little bit of help with the tempered sword, but yeah, we'll get it.
Yeah, we have a tempered sword, but it was still a beautiful Landmo from Sliver.
A lot of MNMG players will tell you that is one of the fun fights you get to deal with. What about the... What is it? The 12-minute mark? 13-minute mark?
That's a little fast.
No, a little bit longer than that. A little bit longer than that.
16, maybe? 16?
Yeah.
High 15 area, maybe?
Alright, so Sliver is probably, after checking Agina here, might be setting up for a trip into Ice as well. Sliver's in go mode once he gets the ether.
Correct.
And Jaejo's... I'm sorry, go ahead.
I think this might be a Bombos tablet play.
Interesting move here by Sliver. More out of the sense that Sliver's been attacking dungeons for a bit here.
prioritizing this. Oh, nice use of burn to avoid all those icicles and culture. Green mail culture hurts.
If only we knew where the blue mail was.
I was about to say, have we seen one? And then I remembered, yes, I called it out. It's on Floating Island.
Floating Island, yep. So I think the way that Sliver's going to route this is do ice, not find it here, and then do the Zora play.
Meanwhile, Jaejo is going to go directly to House of Darkness.
Which we know, of course, has nothing in here, but Jaejo doesn't know it. It's the richest play and a dungeon that you need to beat.
I'd also like to point out, there was nothing in Ice Palace either. So far, the only dungeons that have had progression have been Eastern and Desert. Sliver is going to get to utilize this very fun icebreaker. What most people don't know is there's actually a door there. You just need to give a Samaria block.
Where was item number 3 of this dungeon?
On Cold Stair.
On Cold Stair, okay. So Sliver's still gonna, unfortunately, full clear everything else in here.
That depends. I don't know what Sliver's thoughts are on the Ice Teeth skip.
It exists.
Unfortunately, this is a really nasty key layout regardless of what you do. The keys are in the big chest and in Ice Tea.
Chatting, inquiring about the Cane of Samaria. Leaf, go ahead.
Cane of Samaria is on Stumpy. Jaejo did South Dark World from the South, pulled the book in Mini Morm Cave, and went for Bombos, leaving Dig Game, Stumpy, and K45.
It's just a matter of question of who gets to the go mode first. Does it go to Jaejo or does it go to Sliver? This tiebreaker in Group L. You said this was going to be a fun match.
It has been.
And it has been. It's lived up to it.
And that's I believe that's crystal number 6 for Sliver.
That is
now,
correct.
A moment of truth. Where do you go, Sliver? I'm expecting Zora here.
We've got the mirror out, but do we go to the flute or do we just go to Zora? If Sliver goes to Zora, it's going to be go mode for secretly a Sliver. Flute is out.
Okay. This
could be fluting back to 8.
Hobo. This is about the only convenient time at this point to route Hobo in, so it's just not the worst or surprising thing in the world.
But if Sliver does not flute back to 8, that gives Jaejo an opening still. Moment of truth, Leaf. Where are we going?
Off the rails.
We're fluting to 2. We are checking the mushroom turn in.
Hasn't done
we
this.
know it's not a thing.
Flute check. You're in the flute anyways. It's understandable. Now we're just extending the drama here.
Sliver is going to go to the Zora area by way of just continuing this path. All right, there we go.
Okay.
And as soon as Sliver sees that on the ledge, knows that won't have to make the 500 rupee investment, it will be go mode.
We're getting bomb helmet from Jaejo.
As a kid, this is how I thought you had to do it. I didn't realize, like I said, that you could use the hammer on the mask. All right, crystal-wise, we are tied, but go mode-wise, at 1 hour and 8 minutes, or 8 seconds, rather, secretly a sliver with that discovery will be in go mode.
Speaking of which, happy 1 hour, Rick. Happy 1
Happy
hour,
1
chat.
hour.
I hope everyone's had a great time with this race.
Mm-hmm. Oh, by the way, we're going to get to see what the Zora item is. Minus $4.99.
I kind of wish we didn't see that. What about you?
I wish we hadn't seen it either. All right, there we go. Sliver picks up the Ether Medallion. And we're going to save and quit and head over towards Misery Mire. All right, so here we are 1 hour into this match. The Group L tiebreaker, Jaejo36, secretly a sliver. Our commands are not working at this second, so be sure to give them a follow. Also, Rada Quick and Windblown Lee, this has been a great race to be able to call for you. And our third member of this crew, Dylan Lee Gaming, for clicking the buttons here on this tractor. Thank you so much. Leaf, do we get a bird toss? No, we get a bird carry.
Sorry, I was just typing all of the actual Twitch names in chat for us. No links, just names.
Yeah. You gotta do what you gotta do sometimes.
Do we happen to... I should go check the racer. What did Sliver say he was using?
I don't have a clue. Godmire.
This is one, Godmire, we're go mode. We're going Viddy. And two, the MSU I believe I read was Final Fantasy Mystic Quest.
Oh. That makes sense.
There was several interactions I have questions about there.
So we do have a few moments here, Leaf. What's question number 1, and what's question number 63?
Question number 1 is, what happened with that Samaria block and switch? Because we
and number 63?
The reason I ask is we bonked into the block, and the block went flying, and then after we get to the bottom room, then the door closes. Question number 63 is, have you had a good day today, Rick?
Oh, I've had a marvelous day, and hopefully you have had a marvelous day as well, getting to call a fantastic race together with the always awesome Windblown Leaf. It's always fun to get to do commentary with somebody that you know, and you can banter back and forth with pretty solidly.
Beautiful Vitreous.
Oh yeah, that was marvelous. That was greatly done there by Secretly a Sliver. Crystal number 7, we're off to GT.
Yeah, that was like textbook Vitreous fight for DNMG run.
Hey Leaf.
Yes, Rick?
I got a question for you.
Okay.
I'm starting to see things pop up here, and I don't know how to interpret this. I also don't know how to interpret this. Are we buying arrows?
We're
buying
arrows before GT. Given
yeah, we're buying arrows.
Nice armors, this makes sense.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense.
Forced minute clip. Ooh, we are getting our case right. So Jaejo is behind, but he isn't going to be that far.
Yeah, he's got a full mire clear, which is a god mire, but he's a full mire clear away from where Sliver is at this point in time. All right, so chat's been putting some numbers in chat. Why are they putting numbers in chat?
Well, you might notice numbers are all falling in the range of 1 to 22.
Okay, so
and
what do those correspond to?
Well, do you know what number 22 is significant for? That's how many checks in Ganon's tower the big key can be in.
You're right.
So I think people are trying to guess how many checks it's going to take to locate the big key of Ganon's tower.
I thought they were just trying to tell us their lottery numbers for tonight.
I mean, they might be Sliver and Jaejo's lottery numbers at this point.
I'm surprised Jaejo's number isn't 36.
And going into GT here briefly, before this opens up completely, where do you think this big key is?
Number 9.
Okay, number 9. I usually go with number 13, just enough to make you start sweating.
And it's going to be very interesting if it turns out to be the right side, because we're going to have to pull off a little bit of shenanigans in order to get to that right side.
Unless the fire rod's right here.
I told you, the fire rod's on the desert torch.
No,
never mind. Hope Broom!
That's why we call it Hope Broom.
Number 2!
Well, that is not good for Jaejo.
Yeah.
This is now an execution race for Sliver, and it just has to climb this tower. 106, full go mode, GT climb started. 107, we should say. That's a really good time for Caspers.
Yeah, especially considering the fact that we didn't have to do anything of Turtle Rock. That being a pendant helped lower the quantity of go mode items that we needed. So, a big help right there. Nice strat right there by Sliver. Oh yeah, beautiful strat.
Beautiful. This is where I think we're going to see some really good strats, because this is, I was going to say, we're going to see some nice energy strats, and then we just walk off the ledge and just make it funny at that point.
Obviously, for those of you who are just tuning in, that is so Sliver the iframes for that bridge.
Yes, but it's really funny to be saying, as I'm saying something about fast strats and NMG tech from an very experienced NMG runner. I think that was a menu to Fire Rod or something. That's what it felt like, even though I think it was actually to say read the RNG.
Yeah, this is where you wish you had the Fire Rod for the splash damage. There's one other thing that you gotta... Oh, be careful, Jaejo. There we go. Yeah, be careful, lightning creeping up the right side, too. You don't want that going all the way up.
And that is Crystal 7 for Jaejo36.
Yeah, Jaejo, unfortunately, a little behind at this point in time. More just out of the fact that Jaejo was not getting that Cane of Samaria as until Sliver was already in go mode at that point.
It mostly came as it mostly relates to Sliver got a much faster and cleaner route through Ice Palace because of the
yeah. That, and also the execution by Sliver has been pristine at most cases here. And it's also good for Sliver to remember, because you don't have the fire rod, you have to light that bottom torch this way.
Exactly.
How many times have you done that where you forgot, oh, I don't have a fire rod? Oh, shoot. Well, I guess we're doing another cycle.
Exactly once.
Just once?
Just once.
You're a lot better than I am. I don't think I've made it to double digits yet, but I certainly know I haven't done it more than once.
Oh, the other requirement we had, the other thing that gave Sliver time, the skull dive. Jaejo did make that dive in the skull.
And also North Dark World. That entire North World loop kind of was a good part of this separation between these two.
It's a GT climb of difference. This is still a close race to have got the call.
Yeah, it is. And here's the thing. The winner moves on. The loser is done with his tournament. And just think, it could have gone the other way. If one or two or three things may have gone differently in the course of this run, who knows? This has been a solid run to call, and it's going to be a perfect hope again for Jaejo, just like it was for Sliver.
Without the fire on, it just makes sense to go first, to be fair.
100%, but it's good to see that somebody's going to go that way as opposed to going left side and be oh, it's in hope room the entire time. Dang it. All right, 1 hour 20. We're heading out to finish off this seed. This is Secretly a Sliver's Race to Lose. Leaf, where are the silvers?
So, if I wanted to be funny, I'd say Turtle Rock. Because,
yeah, but
you know not so funny, but kind of reason, I say Turtle Rock. We have no real reason to ever go there, and...
Exactly.
I'm going to
However...
I think they're in Skull... I think they're the other item in Skullwoods.
I was just going to say that we're going to find him say GT because we have 25 items that we never saw in this dungeon. And the fact that we didn't have to do Turtle Rock at all, the item collection rate for this seed is probably sitting in like the 130s.
Probably. Maybe 140. Jaejo's is, I think Sliver's is could even be down at a high 120 for the record.
Yeah.
The Sliver got skipped.
Turtle Rock, there you go.
Sliver got skipped a lot of Dark Overworld.
Yeah. We were never going to see those silvers. Not at all.
Don't you love lamp only, Ganon? It's so... This is not something a lot of runners get a lot of practice on.
It's going to make it for only a one hit here on Ganon during this cycle. Maybe a couple of nerves coming into play here for Sliver.
Between any nerve, and again, this is not a common thing to have to do.
Yeah, and you also know you bled a little bit of time by going into the Palace of Darkness and cleared that, and you also did the Ice Palace and to find out that the Ether was where it was. But that's going to do it. Secretly a Sliver has won this tiebreaker and has won the right to move on to the bracket round.
Hit your GGs in chat or Secretly a Sliver.
And we'll hit the done button on Sliver and get him in here for a potential post-race conversation in just a moment. Get your GGs in for both of these runners.
they're both fantastic runners. I mean, anybody who pays attention to ladder is no stranger to Jaejo36.
Yeah, for certain. And not just ladder, but I know Jaejo's been in some pickup races too at the same time.
Jaejo is, I say ladder because Jaejo's won multiple ladder seasons for different modes, so.
Also, nice place for that half magic.
Like I said in the beginning, when I was talking about these runners, Sliver's a strong NMG focus runner. Jaejo's a strong all-rounder.
Yeah, for certain. Jaejo staring at the door. That's probably a GG's in your race channel.
Yeah. I will say Jaejo's been typing a little bit in response to the post-game chat after wishing some GG's after Sliver finished, so that's probably what we just saw there. And let's watch some fighting this wizard. And I believe that is secretly a sliver. Sean, GG's.
GG.
And down goes the wizard for Jaejo. Sean, first off, I'd like to just say, you wowed us with some of your execution today, so.
Yeah, thank you.
One of them that I called out directly was you had a pretty much picture-perfect Vitreous fight. So.
Yeah, I've actually ground that room and gotten really close to world record for it, so.
Nice. Yeah. And the other thing we picked up was your triple puff pulling Argus.
I tried for a second one, but it didn't work.
That triple puff pull is not easy.
So I guess one thing you're probably wondering is what wound up happening with this race to give you what will be about a 4-ish minute difference between you and Jaejo. You avoided North Dark World.
Yeah, I also forgot Sea House because I'm a numpty, but yeah.
I actually did notice that. I didn't call it out because I was like, maybe it's intentional.
No, absolutely. No, I wanted to... Like, my plan was to go Sea House into North Dark World, into, like, all that stuff, and then into Pod, and then I'm like, you know what? I have a flute. You know, let's just flute over to Pod and do it the opposite way, and then I started finding stuff, and I was just clenching because I didn't have a fire rod.
Yeah, we never saw what that fire rod turned out to be.
I actually was going to ask, because I know Jay's comfortable with it, in the case that you hadn't found the big key, is the right side bomb jump something you're practiced at?
No, absolutely not. If it was on right side, I would have had to leave and go to probably just Smith Chain, because that's where the density is.
Yeah, shoutouts to Hope Room and God Meyer for preventing you from even needing to check anything else in those two dungeons.
Yeah, I was like, when I found Ether, I'm like, oh no, okay, whatever. Just like, if this is Godmire, I just go. Cause,
all right, hold on just a second. As Jaejo finishes off against the Ganon fight, and we'll cross the finish line. Get your GGs in chat for Jaejo here in this tiebreaker. And I just getting back to what you were talking about there with the regards to the ether, it did seem like a little bit towards the end you may have started to get a little nervous because of where that ether turned out to be. Is that what will end up happening in this race?
Yeah, like obviously Ether wasn't in like the best spot for me because like you could have had that from the start of the game. But then I'm like, okay, well, if someone did have that from the start of the game, they probably full cleared Mire. So if this is God Mire, I'm going.
But at least it was also in a place that you could conveniently check after you were done with Ice Palace, that was when we figured that you were going to wind up checking it.
It's kind of the sensible plays were occurring.
Yeah, well, everything happens once.
But that moves you on into the bracket stage. Are you excited to be moving on?
I just hope I have time to play the games because I've got some real life stuff coming up, but we'll see. It's a while away yet, so.
Do the best you can here in the upcoming bracket phase, and we wish you the best of luck here as you continue on with the tournament.
Thank you.
And Jaejo, welcome on in. GG's.
Hi, GG's, Sean.
GG's. I gotta say that's 3 really fun seats that we played, and I'm glad it was 3 because I was nervous the entire time.
Yeah, me too. This one felt like a jet seed, and I thought I hit the route pretty well, but when I got to Thieves Town, I went to Pendant Skull Woods and then over to Catfish, so I actually missed Cane of Samaria. So I ended up doing a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, that was the other main difference, was the fact that it took you a little bit longer to get to your Cane of Samaria than what it took for Sliver to get the Ether Medallion.
Okay.
The other thing that can't be overlooked with the cane is, unfortunately, that was not a caneless friendly Ice Palace layout at all.
Yeah.
That key layout was horrible for not having Samaria.
Yeah, I thought Samaria was in ice actually, so I went in over to Ice Tea as well, which ate up a good chunk of time, and there was just a small key over there. So I kept putting off Pod, but when I found Pod, I still ended up full clearing it.
Yeah, you both wound up full clearing that Palace of Darkness, so that was a wash between the two of you. The only difference was you had the lamp when you were there.
Yeah, what happened the other day is Hammer was in Eastern, and Sean went directly into the Dark World and went to Pod, and found a bunch of progression there. So did you do that again this time?
I didn't go direct. I wanted to go Hype Cave first and then Pod.
Okay.
And then you find the hook shot there, and that pulled you away.
Yep.
Yeah, I went to Hype Cave first, and then went to Swamp, and then went over to Agina's Cave. So that was another time I could have picked up Samaria if I just started making my way up to Kakariko to activate that flute, but I went for the medallion at Agina's instead.
Yeah, actually, before going to Zora area, I went over to Bombo's tablet because both of our last seeds had progression on Bombo's tablet. So I'm like, surely there can't be a third one.
Confirmation bias.
I love that confirmation bias.
But yeah,
it's the RNG magic at work.
Mm-hmm.
I think if either of you watch this back, you will both laugh at the absolute bomb poverty in the middle of that seed.
Yeah, there was a period there where neither of you got above 4.
Yeah, I had to hook dash the back of Swamp Palace. It felt so bad.
Don't
Zero
worry.
bombs when I was in Swamp too.
Jaejo also had to do the vanilla.
Well, the thing is, I can't do the bomber down at all, so I can't set myself.
So even if you had bombs.
Yeah, correct. I can only do it with Samaria. So in any given seed, if I don't have Samaria, I'm doing it the vanilla way. So it's a time loss, but I don't really have the dexterity to get that reliably. So I just play around it.
Limitations make sense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a respectable
It's
mode.
minor and usually doesn't make a difference, but it's there.
And being fine with it is a different part of that aspect too.
Yep.
So I believe this will be the end of your tournament run here for Jaejo. Any closing thoughts?
Fun. So casual boots isn't really my strong suit, so I don't think I have good movement with the boots, but I wanted to try to get some practice in by, playing more boots. So I signed up for the tournament, and I think I put up a pretty good fight. So I got a win against everybody in my group. Also got a loss with everyone in my group, but
I was going to say,
you had fun.
Are you the person who took the win off of Skip Frosh?
I was, yeah. Yeah, so I had a lot of fun. So thanks for having me on, and GG's in the rest of the bracket, Sean.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for Restream. Thanks for comps. Thanks for tracking.
Yeah. Thanks for indicating that you would be comfortable having me on here, Sean. So, because you're kind of the reason I did this. So.
That is part of the reason why Leaf pulled me aside and said, "Hey, what are you doing tonight?" And it was a fun experience for all of us.
But yeah, with that, one more time, please make sure to follow these runners. Jaejo36, secretly a sliver. Shoutouts to our tracker today, Dylan Lee Gaming, and Adirondack Rick. Fantastic commentating with you, as usual.
Absolutely. It's been a blast. We'll have to do some more together as we make our way through tournament seasons here. I've had a blast, as always. And be sure to keep up with what's going on with the schedule, speedgaming.org/boots, to find out the latest races and to see which ones wind up getting restreams as we make our way closer to the bracket phase. Thank you all for joining us. Once again, GG's to Secretly a Sliver. And congratulations on moving on to brackets. And GG's to Jaejo. It sounds like you had a whole bunch of fun. All right, let's get out of here, Leaf. Thanks all for joining us here on Speed Gaming 3, and we'll see you next time.